415 Jewish autonomy in Palestine ended by the Romans and Raban Gamliel forced from office. 532 Boniface II ends his reign as Catholic Pope. In 1346 Battle of Neville's Cross, King David II of Scotland is captured by Edward III of England at Calais and imprisoned in the Tower of London for 11 years. In 1387 Monastery of Windesheim consecrated in the Netherlands. In 1404 Cosma de Migliorati is elected Pope Innocentius VII. In 1448 Second Battle of Kosovo, where the mainly Hungarian army led by John Hunyadi is defeated by an Ottoman army led by Sultan Murad II. In 1456 University of Greifswald is established, making it the second oldest university in northern continental Europe and, for a period, the oldest in Sweden and Prussia. In 1483 Tomás de Torquemada is appointed Inquisitor General of Spain. 9 regicides 1669 regicides, the men who signed the death warrant of Charles I, are hanged, drawn, and quartered. Another is hanged. Sale of Dunkirk 1662 Charles Roman II of Great Britain sells Dunkirk to France for 2.5 million livres 320,000 English pounds. In 1691 new royal charter for Massachusetts now includes Maine and Plymouth. In 1720 Pierre de Marivaux S play Arlequin Poli Par l'amour premieres in Paris. In 1740 Ivan VI becomes Tsar of Russia. Cook's third voyage 1776 Captain James Cook arrives in Cape Town with resolution on his third trip to the Pacific Ocean. In 1777 British General John Burgoyne surrenders at Saratoga during the American Revolutionary War. In 1787 Boston African Americans petitioned the legislature for equal school facilities. In 1797 Peace of Campo Formio, Austrian Netherlands become part of France. In 1800 Dutch colony Curaçao transferred to Great Britain. In 1806 Emperor Jacques I of Haiti, former leader of the Haitian Revolution, is assassinated. In 1808 political rights of Jews are suspended in the Duchy of Warsaw. In 1814 London beer flood. A burst vat at Meux Company Brewery floods city streets with over 300,000 gallons of porter ale, killing 8, with a possible 9th later from alcohol poisoning. 1. Don Sanche 1825 Don Sanche, the first opera by Franz Liszt, premieres in Paris. In 1829 Delaware River and Chesapeake Bay Canal formally open. In 1829 first supposed attack on abandoned German teenager Caspar Horser. Piano Concerto No. 1831 Felix Mendelssohn's first piano concerto in G premieres in Munich, Germany, with the composer soloist. In 1850 Knickerbocker Engine Co Number 5 organizes. In 1854 French and British forces bombard Sevastopol for the first time during the Crimean War. In 1855 Bessemer steelmaking process patented by Henry Bessemer revolutionizes manufacturing. 1861 British Open Men's Golf, Prestwick GC, Willie Park Sr wins the inaugural event by 2 strokes over fellow Scot Tom Morris Sr. In 1862 Battle of Leetown and Thoroughfare Gap, Bar. In 1868 Constitution of Grand Duchy of Luxembourg comes into effect. In 1871 Great Britain annexes Griqualand, South Africa. Grant takes on the Klan. 1871 US President Ulysses S. Grant suspends habeas corpus in parts of South Carolina during prosecutions against Ku Klux Klan. Stanley reaches Lualaba River. 1876 Henry Morton Stanley reaches the Lualaba River, a headstream of the Congo River, and travels down it, proving it is not the source of the Nile. MacDonald re-elected 1878 after serving as the opposition for 5 years. John A. MacDonald is re-elected as Prime Minister of Canada. In 1885 baseball sets all players' salaries at $1,000–$2,000 for the 1885 season. Optical phonograph. 1888 Thomas Edison writes a letter to the US Patent Office describing his idea for a device that would do for the eye what the phonograph does for the ear. In 1894 Ohio National Guard kills 3 lynchers while rescuing a black man. In 1896 Anton Chekhov's The Seagull premieres in St. Petersburg. In 1899 such a railroad is sold to Robert F. Morrow for $215,000. Transatlantic Wireless 1907 Guglielmo Marconi's company begins the first commercial transatlantic wireless service between Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, Canada and Clifton, Ireland. In 1912 Bulgaria, Greece and Serbia declare war on Turkey. In 1916 Dutch women demonstrate for women's suffrage. In 1917 first British bombing of Germany. In 1918 De Kuya Airport in the Netherlands opens. In 1918 Yugoslavia proclaims itself a republic. In 1919 Radio Corporation of America, ACV, is created as a subsidiary of General Electric. In 1920 the Decatur Staleys, later known as the Chicago Bears, play their first American Professional Football Association game against an affiliated AFAD team and defeat the Rock Island Independent 7-0 at Douglas Park, Rock Island, Illinois. In 1921 Belgium's public library law goes into effect. In 1922 Scottish worker begins hunger march from Glasgow to London. In 1923 Radboud University Nijmegen opens in the Netherlands. In 1927 Ban Johnson, in failing health, retires as president of MLB's American League. 1934 The Aldrich family premieres on radio. In 1935 Pacific Association of the AU votes not to participate in the Berlin Olympics. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington 1939 Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, directed by Frank Capra and starring James Stewart and Jean Arthur, is released. In 1940 German occupiers issue identity cards. In 1941 USS Kearney becomes the first US destroyer torpedoed in World War II while the country is still officially neutral. In 1943 Burma Railway, built by Allied POWs and Asian labourers, is completed for use by the Japanese Army. In 1943 Liberators sink U-540 U-631. Loyalty Day 1945 Loyalty Day in Argentina. Mass demonstrations are held to release Juan Perón. In 1951 Egyptian army fires on British soldiers. In 1954 Philadelphia,